always cooked, never raw. And then we want to take it a step further. I want anybody that hears this presentation or sees me do this anywhere else, when I tell you always cook, never raw, that that not only means for you to not consume raw sea moss ever again or not feed it to your children ever again. It also means do not go back and purchase anything ever again from the people who've been selling you raw sea moss because it is clinically dangerous. And it is super dangerous when you add in the image that Chondrus crispus or sea moss has in general. Meaning, because, and this is all sea mosses, they blow up. Now, because you're having this idea in your mind that sea moss is the healthiest thing on earth and it's so amazing, when problems pop up, health problems, you get a pain here or you get a little trouble digesting your food here or whatever, your mind is going to go to the cigarettes, the McDonald's, the time you didn't eat, the days you didn't exercise, the person you had unprotected sex with. Like your mind is going to go all over the place to try to figure out what's wrong with you. It's never going to go, oh man, maybe it's all this raw sea moss that I've been drinking. Because you're thinking the more raw sea moss you drink, the better you're doing. And what you're really doing is actually tearing up your intestinal lining, creating what's called leaky gut syndrome. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of leaky gut, but when you have raw sea moss, it literally creates leaky gut, right? So again, always cooked, never raw. That's how we want to do it. And we don't want to go back and purchase anything from the people who sold us raw sea moss, because that means they're not researching or taking the time to make sure they sell you stuff that's safe. They're just selling you shit that they know will make money, that they know you'll purchase, but they don't care whether it's good for you, good to you, you know what I'm saying, nutritious, or whether you get, like, they don't care. So you would be a fool to turn right back around to purchase you would be a super fool to continue consuming raw sea moss. That's just that. But if you can continue to purchase from these people, whether they stop selling raw or sell you something else, like, you would be the fool. So I'm just putting it as plain as possible, right? In every type of format, in the blenders, buying the gel, any kind of way, right? Any kind of way. We want to make sure that we understand this is not a game. And y'all know Dr. Enqi don't make shit up. Right? So this is not necessarily something that we just going to throw out there. I keep trying to stress to everybody, we have to think two lines of consciousness, two streams of information for even knowing sea moss exists. The Rastas and the Dreads and the Jamaicans with the juice bars and the herb stores and all that. And then we have to thank Dr. Sebi. Those are the two lines of historical reference points for bringing seaweed into the health of Black, brown, and Latino people. Now, the one thing that they both have in common is properly prepared seaweed has to be cooked. All the dreads they boil the seaweed. Dr. Sebi boil the seaweed. Like, it's these new guys came out of nowhere. These is the guys they don't have no teachers. They don't have no schools they graduated from, nor do they have any teachers that they have been taught from mouth to ear. They just Googling shit, remixing shit off YouTube, calling themselves a healer because they got, oh, well, the mitochondria, and what happens is calories and ATP and mitochondria, and they say a few things that they know you'll reference. Oh, yeah, and energy. And then all of a sudden, you hook, line, and sinker, you swinging off their nutsack. You don't understand. They poisoning you slow because they don't know nothing. They don't know what they're doing. And you're coming to them because you don't know what you're doing. And you're going to this person because you think they're a pro or expert, but they don't have a line of education. I have an advantage on these goofballs out here because none of these niggas really like to work. None of them like to work. What does that mean? That means that the guys that you've been introduced to that went and got a naturopathic certification here or there, or they're a personal trainer or a nutritionist, or on the flip side, the guys that been related to, somebody, or they came up studying up under somebody, once they get out in public and they start selling their books, their products, their services, they stop educating themselves right at that moment. That's it. They never going to be more than that. Me, I'm never satisfied with what I know. So as a certified personal trainer, I wanted to be a certified sports nutritionist. You know what I'm saying? As a certified sports nutritionist, I wanted to go backwards. I'm like, hold on, but I started off with the herbs. Let me go become a certified master herbalist. You know what I'm saying? Let me go on the other side of the aisle and become a naturopathic doctor. Let me get that certification and see and basically every school of thought you go in, the goal is always the same, to make a person better. But what you find is that there's a lot more safety precautions when you come through schools of thought, whether it's an established, credible line of healers that's just teaching people mouth to ear, in the street, online, wherever, or in books, or whether you actually went somewhere and got a certificate that says you graduated from here. The thing that both things have in common is brand. Again, these are one of these practices of these new age Seamossers. So that's why I've been given the title as the world's first Seamoss sommelier. In fact, what I'm going to do is people that study this whole curriculum, those are going to be our first graduates. We're going to certify folks as Seamoss sommeliers, right?